Hello, friends, and welcome to the fourth episode of Find Your People. Have we found them yet, Mandy? I don't know if we found our people yet.
Listen, it's a journey.
It is a journey. It is today is a day. Today is a day when a lot of our friends are getting hit by a very bad storm. So I just want to start off saying our people who are in that path, we are thinking about you and love you and praying for you. And we hope that you'll come out this other end all right. My friend in Statesboro that I heard from a little while ago said that it was just a bunch of rain so far. So I hope that that continues for all of our friends in South Georgia. So we're thinking about you today.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mandy. I forgot to let you say your name. This is Katie. Mandy.
Hey. I was like, what? What did I do?
I'm just so worried about our people that I can't help it. So today I thought we would start doing something fun. One of my favorite things about being in a phone unit and working in a very large company, aka
a what unit?
A phone unit, which meant that I was one of the people in the phone farm that had the headset on that answered call after call after call. That was my job.
I couldn't decide if you said phone or fun.
Oh no, it was not fun. There was no fun to be had. Oh Lord. Anyway, one of the best things to entertain ourselves, and one of the things that okay, look. So we weren't allowed to take work product home with us from the Lizard. However, I may have snuck a picture or two of my screen when this happened. People have really fun names. And one of my favorite names that I have ever come across was a guy, he's actually, I think, still employed at the Lizard. Which is surprising because a lot of people are not. They're downsizing big time. Anyway, but my favorite name, it popped up in my email. I was like, there's no way that's his name. There's no way. And so I took a picture. I went into the address book and took a picture. And his name, indeed, are you ready for this, Mandy?
I'm ready.
You gird your loins.
I thought that was his name.
Chase Cooter. His name is Chase Cooter. Last name Cooter, first name Chase. Chase Cooter. Think about that.
Well, his daddy named him.
Well, that's so either one of two things happened. Either his parents are very funny, or they just like the name Chase and didn't even think what it would be like to put it with their last name.
If somebody's initials spell something funny, like I can see that just being it didn't even occur to them. Naming your child Chase when you know your last name is Cooter, that has to be purposeful.
Cooter. Chase Cooter. And I thought when I first saw the name, I was like, well, he's got to be, from lower Alabama or Louisiana. Nope. He was not. So it wasn't even Southern, but that was like my favorite name
that I have
ever seen, Chase Cooter. And I have pictorial evidence. I will not put it out in the world because, once again, wink, wink, we were not supposed to take pictures of the system at the Lizard, and I don't want to get sued.
Yes.
So
speaking of
it got me thinking.
Just speaking of Cooter real quick.
Speak of Cooter, please.
Dansby Swanson, which could there be a bougier name than
right?
Dansby? I mean, like he does. It sounds like he sips his tea with his pinky up for sure. Yep. His daddy's name is Cooter.
Cooter Swanson.
First name is Cooter.
Like legal?
No.
See, this is legal.
But he goes by Cooter.
Yeah.
Like his email would be Cooter. His email would be Cooter Swanson.
I mean, what the? Chase Cooter.
Chase Cooter.
Of course. Well, then it got me thinking, about my two, how could we relate this to our sports fanatic selves? Because it took me at least half a season for Auburn, the years that we had Obamanu and Arobashadu as our receivers. And they were always on the field at the same time, and they always called their names at the same time. And that is, I mean, that's their last name. It has to do with their heritage. I love that, but it's still a mouthful, and it took some practice. But Arobashanu and Obamanu, and they were great receivers. And then I started seeing, well, seriously, during baseball, you and I had that conversation.
Yeah.
But I thought, and then I started seeing stuff about these football players. So my contribution to the podcast is that we're going to go for every sports area that we love, not every sport, but like every season that we're looking forward to. We're going to go and find the craziest names, the most fun names, the best names that we can find.
Oh, so now I didn't know we were supposed to go find them. I thought we were just supposed to whatever ones we like knew and thought of.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a whole website for football. So there's plenty. So we're gonna start today's episode with the best names in college football for this year. Be on the lookout. Some of these teams.
No, mine aren't college football either. I didn't.
Oh, well, you can do whatever you
rules,
want,
baby.
You did not follow the rules.
I just did funny football names.
Look, there's some that go to schools that we will never see on TV. However, some of them are nicknames, but some of them's mama named them these things. And I just think it's just like, come on. The best. So tell me some of yours.
Well, the first funny football name for somebody our age has got to be Dick Butkus.
Oh, well, hello, Dick Butkus.
And I feel like Dick was probably in that generation of Richards who were called Dick before Dick meant what it means now. Because I can remember there was a kid from Moultrie who was named Dick when we left Moultrie in 1980. He was my sister's age. But then when we moved back to Moultrie in 1984, he was Richard.
Yeah, because
in the meantime, somewhere between 1980 and 1984,
people realized
Dick began to mean penis, and he didn't want to be penis.
Well, even now, though, I say and have said, don't be a Richard.
Yeah.
So even Richard now is kind of.
But I think, I mean, do you remember that happening, or do I just remember that because we had that?
I remember
example.
Yeah, there are a lot of. I can't even say there are a lot of Dicks from my parents' generation.
I
can't say it without giggling.
Yeah. But so I feel like Dick Butkus,
I love that,
was probably of the generation. Like if he had been born, in 1984, he would have been known as Richard Butkus.
Yes, he would have.
But thankfully for us, he was not. And so we have Dick Butkus.
I love it. Well, my first one is from the Oklahoma Sooners from this year. You might have heard this name. His name is General Booty, which kind of goes along with Dick Butkus. General Booty.
I feel like when you have two options when your last name is Cooter or Booty.
Yeah.
Like you can either really play against it or you can just go whole hog.
Yep.
And I feel like General Booty is the option to just run full steam ahead, which is great for a football player because you really want them going all out and go on with your bad self, General Booty.
I love it.
Okay, my next one actually is, well, I think he's in professional football now, but I remember watching he coached for UT, I think, which is funny considering what my shirt says. We don't do orange.
Right, Miss
Sandy.
I noticed that.
It's a Dansby Swanson quote. Thank you very much. But he was coaching for UT, and they just mentioned he was like a coordinator of some kind, and the announcer just casually mentions, well, yeah, that was Jim Bob Cooter. I'm sorry? Jim Bob Cooter, y'all.
There we go. Look.
It's that Cooter.
I would change my name.
I mean, what do you do if your last name's Cooter?
Well, I sent you one that I will not be saying on air from my days at the Gecko, and it's a bad word. And I think if my last name was Cooter, or if my last name was this terrible bad word, then I would change it. Even if I moved to a new country and Griffiths meant Cooter, I would change my name. Like if you moved to an obscure country and Caldwell meant jackass, and everybody kept calling you Caldwell.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you've either got to embrace it all hog. And, I never would have survived childhood because I had zero sense of humor as a child. I didn't think anything. If anybody laughed at anything, I figured they were making fun of me.
Right.
So, like, you really got to have a special personality.
You do.
To make it through life with the last name Cooter.
You do. You do. It's like Girl Named Sue. All right. So my next one, I'm trying to decide. Okay, we're gonna keep going with the body part theme.
Yeah.
There's a guy that plays for the Buffalo Bulls, which is a college in Houston, Texas, named Booby Curry.
Oh, Booby. I just had some sort of interaction with somebody named Booby.
There's Bubby, and Bubby, I think, is a traditional like Jewish grandmother name, but this is Boobie Curry.
Maybe they were trying to do Bobby.
They missed.
Because with Curry, you're not in that situation. You're in with Cooter.
No.
You're not having to go head first into this. You just went with Booby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I feel like perhaps these fellas who are playing college football have, owned these names.
Yep.
And they've become big, giant, hulking men.
Yeah.
To overcome the teasing. That's the story we will write for them.
Yep. We will. We will.
Okay. And I've only got one more.
Okay.
And it's also a professional player.
Okay.
But it's also another one where it was like, had your pain pills not worn off
yep.
when they came in and asked you to fill out the birth certificate? Because I offer up one Clinton Dix.
Yes, I remember Clinton Dix. He played at LSU, I believe.
I think he's with Green Bay now.
He was definitely SEC because the commentators, like I listened to that name a lot during his college years. Come on. Clinton Dix. I mean, there's so many things in that name. Again, with the Dix.
Right. Isn't it Clinton Dix? Isn't it hyphenated?
It's hyphenated.
Maybe that's why it's hyphenated. Yeah.
Which you look, Clinton Dix that's a whole nother thing. And then you've got in front of it.
Oh God.
The jokes abound.
Maybe his mama was a big Republican in 1996. I don't know.
Oh Lord. So my last one is one that I just think is hilarious, and I assume that it's one that he gave himself. It's a big old strapping boy from Arkansas. His name's Bumper Pool.
Bumper
Pool.
Bumper.
Like Bumper Pool, like the game with the little mushrooms on the pool table.
Right.
Bumper Pool.
I feel like he earned Bumper.
I think he probably did.
I feel like he earned Bumper. I'm just trying to figure out at what point in his life he earned Bumper. Was he that kid on the playground
Right.
who just couldn't control himself and just kept running into all the little girls?
Right.
Or when he first
Probably.
learned to
That's how
drive?
like Tank Bigsby and Cadillac Williams got their nicknames, is because when they were little bitty, they would like Tank would just run everybody over. So they started
Right?
calling him Tank because he's built like a tank. So I feel like Bumper earned that nickname too.
Yeah. Or it could have been when he was first learning how to drive.
Yeah. Oh,
He might
bless
have
it.
had some incidents.
Bumper Pool.
Yeah, Bumper feels like one he earned.
But it goes so well with Pool. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm going to be on the lookout for all
Be
these
on the
names.
lookout. They're so fun. There's a whole, I mean, there's this season is just like, oh, okay.
Okay.
All
Can't
right.
wait. It'll be
All
fun.
right.
Now everybody else can be on the lookout too. Let
Be
us
on
know
the
your
lookout. Send
favorite.
us your best ones.
Send them to us.
Yep.
We are here for it.
So the Little League World Series ended.
Did and in a very exciting game.
Neither one of my teams made it to the final game, but you know what? I'm not mad about it because the teams that did make it deserved to be there.
Yep.
It was
And
some of the best baseball overall. There was not a bad team in the bunch. I mean, they all did so well and had so many big plays and whatnot. But the team that won was from California, and the kid was like 8 feet tall. They had the tallest kid. He was
so
6'2".
the best thing was, so it was California and Curacao, home to Ozzy Albies.
Yep.
And Curacao was down, and one of their kids hit a grand slam and tied it up in like the fifth inning. So it was very exciting. And then yes, the big hoss for California came up in the bottom of the seventh. How many innings did they play?
I think they did go to 7. Yeah.
It was the last inning was tied up.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one out, and this kid, he's 6'1".
Yeah, he's the tallest kid of all the kids that played. He's was the tallest one.
6'1", 12-year-old. And he had hit a home run in every single game already. And so that's who you want up. And by golly, he did it.
By golly, he did it.
Homer, walk-off homer.
But those little kids from Curacao do not need to hang their heads. They played so well.
I know, that's the worst thing. I texted Katie during the game, and like, even when the coach just went out to take the California coach went out to take the pitcher out, like just a pitching change, just the pep talk he's giving the pitcher, I'm like crying. I'm like, it's all making me cry. I don't want anybody to lose.
I know, right?
It was really good. And I saw that the Dodgers hosted the California team yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, I missed that. I'll have to go look it up.
Yeah, I'll share it to our Instagram page.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so that was exciting.
Yeah. But so that's done. And college football doesn't start till this weekend.
And there was you are mistaken.
Well,
the Mercer University Bears.
Look, Vandy won, and I had picked Vandy, so thank you.
As did the Mercer University Bears.
Yes,
thank you.
They did. And the other day there was no Braves game on. I looked.
No, well, look.
So the only sporting event available was tennis, and normally I only watch Wimbledon, but this is the U.S. Open, and it was Andy Murray and this angry Frenchman. I mean, he was like
commentating.
No, playing.
Oh, playing. Andy Murray's still playing.
Yes, he's still playing.
Isn't he old?
Yes, but he won. He beat this little angry Frenchman who was very rude to the judge, was very short with everybody. Anyway, so I wasn't sad that he lost, but the thing that really got me, because you and I talk a lot about commentators and like, are you telling the stories? Or are you just really dryly color commentating? Or are you like my nemesis in life, Gary Danielson, who half the time doesn't know what game he's watching and or just talks about Alabama all the time?
Right.
So these two guys that were commentating didn't like each other at all. And it was the weirdest, like, usually they get people that work well together.
Right.
But
Who
you
can
could
sit in the booth
tell
together.
they hated each other. Or the
Uh-huh.
one guy hated the other guy. So it was Brad Gilbert, who he kept calling BG. And I think that's his nickname. I think that's what people call him, BG. But BG is coaching one of the women in the tournament, Coco, who I love. I love Coco. I think she's a great player. I hope she does really well.
And he's
But
commentating?
these commentators do not like it that they're coaching and commentating.
Okay.
But apparently that's a thing though, because when you coach someone in tennis, you're not on the sidelines or there in the stadium coaching.
But he's calling women's games.
Yes. And
Okay,
so
that
some of
is a
the
little
other
weird.
commentators have a big problem with this. And so the result of that was that Darren Cahill, who was this old grumpy man from Australia, was belligerent to BG the whole time. And I was like, I first thought, well, are they drinking in the booth? Like, are they hangry in the booth? What is up? But he just did not like him. And I was there for it. It was very entertaining. It was a much more entertaining than the tennis. It was an angry match all the way. So I
That's
feel like
interesting.
the next time we
I can
commentate, we
see
should
that.
try that in our text change. Just get angry at each other.
I
It'd be
don't
fake
know.
though. It'd
I
be
think
so
we
fake.
laugh. We laugh too much
I
to
know,
get
right?
angry at each other.
But at one point, so Darren Cahill is older, as I said, and he hadn't played tennis in apparently a very long time. And BG was trying to like ask him, like, when you played, what was it like? And when you did this, do you remember doing that? And finally, Darren Cahill just said, will you please quit asking me questions about what I did 50 years ago? I don't remember. Like,
Wow.
and I was just like, what am I watching?
That's when you want to get out the invisible spray. It's getting uncomfortable.
Oh, like, this is crazy. So
That's so funny.
I think the rule on ESPN from now on should be they have to like each other. Because I thought I was going to have an intervention.
Oh, that's so funny.
Ugh, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And then I saw there was some controversy. I think was it last night? That it was it Coco in Coco's match, and she was I can't remember. Whoever it was a young whippersnapper who's playing a woman who I watched a snippet of an interview with her. She may be German. She spoke excellent English.
Yeah.
But maybe it was a German accent. But she's like, she was taking too long between serves, apparently. And she was like, look, I'm 36 years old and I'm still out here playing.
Lucky little whippersnapper.
Did
she call her a whippersnapper?
That was purely me.
Was you? I love
That's
it.
me.
Don't use words that are 50. See, I can't do it without laughing. I did last night watch a little bit and it was almost painful. So I turned it. So I watched a little bit of Venus because she's a fantastic tennis player. She could beat me with her eyes closed and one arm tied behind her back. But she was really struggling. And I felt really sorry for her. Like all her friends were there.
I know, it's so hard.
All her friends are famous. So it was like Queen Latifah was there and all these people. And the commentators kept pointing that out, that all these famous people were there to watch her lose so badly. And I was like, dang, give her a break. God. She's a great human and a great tennis player. So let her be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard.
It's rub it in.
So hard for them to figure out when to let it go.
Yeah, they were definitely rubbing in a little bit last night. So whatever happens with Venus, if she retires or not, I don't know, but I appreciate her ability very much. And I hope that she does not take to heart what those Richards said about her last night on commentating.
Oh, really?
Oh, Lord. Oh. So the only other thing that I have is that I started school back. We can talk about all kinds of stuff throughout the semester, but we had our first chapel service and I helped serve communion. I'm the lead deacon. And so it was just, as always, it was a wonderful thing. Speaking of names, The bishop in residence at Candler's named Bishop Larry Goodpaster. I mean,
Stop.
what else in life are you going to do besides
Right?
be a bishop? So it was good
That's funny.
to hear Bishop Goodpaster.
That's funny.
Preaching.
That's like how it's like, you know, how they used to give you a name based on what you did.
Yeah.
So he's just living up to it.
Yep. Like the dentist in Macon named Tooth Boone.
We had a Dr. Payne in Moultrie.
There we go. Love it.
Do y'all do communion with the intinction, or do you give out individual little crackers and cups?
Ma'am.
Did you like the new intinction?
We do both.
Okay.
But this year they're adding the wine back in.
Real wine?
And guess who held the wine?
You?
Yeah, they saved it for me. So I was, because they thought it was funny. And so I'm sitting there holding the wine going, God, this is like actual wine. Like I smell the alcohol. Standing next to old Larry Goodpaster, handing out the wine.
I guess everybody y'all are serving are of age.
Yeah, so everybody's of age, and there are stations. So there's the individual cups for the people that don't want to do intinction, and then there's the grape juice for the people that are have issues with alcohol. So there's something for everybody. You can be comfortable in whatever form you want.
Gotcha. You know, I grew up with the little wafers and the individual cups.
Yep.
And when you're an acolyte, you help serve communion, and so we always did the crackers, and then the preachers did the little grape juice. But it used to make me so nervous, all the little ladies coming in for their cracker with their hands shaking, because then they'd like dive bomb the platter, and I'd be like, I'm gonna drop this thing.
I know,
right? Nerve-wracking event.
I know. Well, I've done intinction for a while. I grew up doing the individual cups and wafers, but I've done intinction, and I will not say who it is. But I was doing the cup, and a friend of mine's child came up to me, and I bent down so they could get they put their whole hand in the cup. First of all, and they said, they looked at their mom and their dad, and they said, is this like mommy's juice? Like loud enough for the whole of the mulberry to hear it.
Well, my friend Lana, the first time she ever did intinction, and she was a grown ass adult. She didn't know that you dip the bread in the cup, so she just took the whole cup and turned it up, took a big sip out of it.
That's how the Catholics do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so some people don't realize that we just intinct and not drink.
Well,
it becomes
that was not Lana's excuse. Lana's a good Methodist and has been her whole life. She may have gone to the Baptist church, maybe growing up.
Yeah.
Sorry, the dog is about to thirst to death.
So don't let poor sweet Jenny thirst to death.
Hold please.
Yeah, so we listeners, while she goes and gets Jenny some water.
Okay, play the elevator. Hold
the communion stories I could tell.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Well, I'm glad you're back in school and getting back in routine.
Yes.
Yes. That reminds me of one of my topics for this week.
Yes.
Is I saw several friends posting on Facebook about like a Home Chef or a Blue Apron or those sort of meal services. They were asking about who does one for their child that's in college. And it made me sad, because how are your kids going to learn to eat hamburger helper if you're delivering Blue Apron to them?
Or Uber Eats or DoorDash or come on. Yeah.
I don't mean to be like, get off my lawn, but also, how will they ever know that the French cut canned green beans are quite superior to the regular canned green beans? These are vital lessons. These are vital lessons that people need to know. And when else are you going to learn them?
And how to properly cook ramen noodles.
Right? I will say my nephew is already an expert with that. Yeah. And like you eat all the weird stuff your roommate eats. Like you learn to eat, like, I don't know. I never liked cheese as a child because I wanted to be as difficult as possible. So I didn't eat like a bunch of Cheetos and things like that. But then you get to college and you learn that the gigantic puffy cheese balls that come in the plastic container are far superior to, the cheese puffs.
Yes.
Like, these are vital things that these children are not going to learn when they're getting organic ingredients delivered to their door.
Right.
I'm worried for the youth.
That's one of the many things that makes me worry for the youth. They will never be self-sufficient. There's no way.
Oh boy.
Yikes. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, we had a meal plan and it was one of our cafeteria was not the best, but there was something downstairs with different options. And the shrimp scampi from the day before always ended up in shrimp lasagna the next day.
Right.
It was not good. But oh well, we paid for a meal plan. You eat the meal plan.
Right. Because you weren't getting any
ramen
extra
noodles
money.
in your
You weren't getting any extra money because they'd already paid for the meal plan.
Right.
And we had to live in the dorms until we were juniors. Of course, I managed to get out because of my allergies. Yeah, my allergies. Which was actually quite true because we were living in an air-conditioned dorms with the windows open.
Me too. Yeah, they air conditioned my freshman dorm the summer I moved out of it.
Well, I chose the unair conditioned option because the mold was so bad in the air conditioned option that we figured the open windows would be better. But we had a 3 meals a day plan 7 days a week that we could not opt out of.
Yeah. So I mean, well, what are these
Bill and Jane weren't sending me any more money.
Eat gourmet.
Right. I was just really sort of sad thinking of all the fun we used to have. I can remember at one point my roommate Molly marinated some chicken breasts in Italian dressing.
Yeah.
And then I remember that her boyfriend was in town. I can't remember if he had gone and bought a little grill or if they baked it. I can't remember how, but I remember being so impressed.
Yeah.
At how gourmet Molly was, that she had marinated the chicken breast in some craft Italian dressing.
Oh my God.
Listen, was fancy. And I remember, like, I can remember calling my grandmother, like, trying to make cream corn.
Right.
And being like, I mean, I did that, Nanny, but it doesn't taste like yours. I just feel like
you're working on a dorm stove, Mandee.
Oh my God. Listen, one of many reasons it didn't taste like hers. But yeah, speaking of cream corn, I feel like it's time to say goodbye to summer.
Please. Which
is always a bittersweet time for me because I love corn and tomatoes and peaches, like just the best food of the year. But when I tell you the joy I felt in my bones when I walked outside yesterday and it was 20 degrees cooler than it has been for approximately 111 days.
Yeah.
I hate that was a result of a hurricane, but everything is more bearable when it's 20 degrees cooler.
It really is. And look, it was hot when we were younger. I mean, it really was, but this has been probably the hottest I've ever been in my life.
For the longest. No relief. With no relief.
None. It was like walking into an oven every day.
Wet
every single day.
Wet sock.
Yep. And so I really am just thrilled that the high today starts with an 8.
Well, we're not there yet. We're still in the 90s, but at least it doesn't feel like 116 degrees.
Yeah, true. So true. I'm ready for all things fall too, not just football, but I'm ready for like because I'm up in kind of in the mountains. I'm at the very foothills, so the trees is so pretty up here, and sweaters, sweater weather.
Love some sweaters. It's real
Ready for
touch
all
and
the
go. We do
things.
get cool down here. Like it does get
Yeah.
we will have typically most years we'll have at least a day or two below freezing. So it does get cool down here, but it's real touch and go too. And it'll be November, December before I might put on a sweater.
Well,
So
I
I'm
can't believe
jealous.
you're not mentioning the best thing about leaving summer.
What?
All the people go away for you.
We'll see, they'll be back this weekend.
Well, but after this
And then they'll be
weekend,
back again. Then they'll be back again. Fall break has become just as busy as the 4th of July. So we have this, it's awful. You get past Labor Day and you think, oh,
yeah,
I can go eat again. I can
Yeah.
get a seat at a restaurant again. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they come back with a vengeance for about 2 weeks. And then they really are gone. So yeah. But it's a little early yet to be excited about the people being gone.
Okay. Well, September,
They're
October is
gone
really
right
my
now.
favorite time to go to the beach because of that very reason. You can walk in
Yeah.
any restaurant.
You have to plan it right these days because that fall break has really taken over. But yeah, for sure.
Because
For
you've had a
sure.
crazy summer.
Listen, always.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, what it means for
but
me
then
too is that I can lay in my bed on a Friday night and hear the football games over at the stadium.
Oh,
So
I
I'll get
love
that.
that.
I know. I'll
Nothing
get
better
that
than
for
a
a few
marching
months.
band.
And the
God,
talk
I
about
love a marching band.
commentators. They're so loud they shake my innards every Friday night.
My dad used to be the commentator in Moultrie.
It's like a college campus up here. I love it. I mean, this high school here is like a college campus, and they have every year they have 5-star recruits coming out of here. So it's crazy. Like there was one week where Saban and Smart were both at the game.
Yeah.
And you would have thought Jesus himself was walking around the sidelines. Father and the Son.
Oh. So that reminds me. Did you see that Ronald Acuna Jr., who's the leading MVP candidate for the Braves? He's the Braves right fielder.
Yeah.
Did you see that 3 fans got on the field? Okay. So they jumped out of the stands and it was just, he ended up on the ground. It was a really scary thing. Yeah. But come to find out later that it was really just these guys are super fans of Ronald's. And so they had Kelly Kroll, who's the sideline reporter for Bally. I heard her on a podcast yesterday, and she was saying she had interviewed Kevin Pillar, who's the left fielder. And that's right? It's right field's from home, right? Okay. Yeah. I get that confused with my stage directions.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, Kevin Pillar's the left fielder. And he was Kelly was interviewing him, and she said that after they had turned off the camera and everything, Kevin Pillar had the best line. He said that really it was like these guys were seeing the Venezuelan Jesus.
So if you're really that big of a fan of any sport, why would you want to interrupt the game, even if it's a player that you're a fan of?
They were because they
didn't just hug him. Did you see them carrying that one guy off and he was still trying to reach for him like he was Taylor Swift or something? Yes. You're a grown man. What are you doing?
It was Venezuelan Jesus.
Acuna can't heal you. What is your problem? I was hoping you'd bring that up.
And the other thing, there was a moment when they finally got the guys off of him, and Ronnie sort of walked over there, and Kevin Pillar pushed him away. It looked like Ronnie was going to be let me just let him get their picture. It's it's fine.
It's fine.
But it was. Those are really scary.
That's stalker status.
Yeah, that was scary, and I did see those guys got arrested. So
well, they needed to.
Yes, they did.
That's a whole nother level of crazy.
That can segue us into our baseball story of the week.
I can't wait.
So this week is one Justin Steele. Justin is a pitcher for the Cubs, my second favorite team.
Wow, that.
He was drafted, I think, in 2014. So he's been in, doing this a while. Another one of those guys who, didn't really play at all in 2020 because there was no minor league season because of COVID. But he finally got called up in 2021 and really sort of had a breakout year last year, but just the second half of the season last year is when he really sort of finally locked in. So after being in the league since 2014, he got drafted out of high school, and he went to high school in Lucedale, Mississippi, which is the ancestral lands of the Caldwells.
Stop it.
I grew up going to see my grandparents in Lucedale, Mississippi. It's in George County, Mississippi.
Never heard of it.
Which is just across the border with Alabama. So we would get on I-10 in Tallahassee and take it all the way. Clap, 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 clap. I mean, awful. Yes, the dog is digging in her water bowl. I don't know if y'all can hear that.
I can't hear it, but I'm here for it.
Hydrated queen. Lucedale is the county seat of George County, Mississippi.
It's a county seat?
Which has, yes, Lucedale. And it has a population of, in the 2010 census, the population was 2,923 people.
Big city.
I mean, the best part I remember about Lucedale is they had a little diner called the Coffee Pot, and it had a neon old like percolator coffee pot sign. That was always the coolest thing to me, seeing that neon sign.
It sounds like the Twiggs County and Meemaw's truck stop.
Yeah, that I would imagine it's very similar. And my Aunt Fanny lived just around the corner. Speaking of
there's
names,
another name.
Aunt Fanny lived right around the corner from the teapot. But anyway, so Justin is from Lucedale. And there was all this talk preseason about, is Justin going to be that good again? Is he really going to, be able to do it? So, I'm like, this kid from Lucedale, are you kidding me? What are the odds? He's been living in Arizona because that's where the Cubs have a big presence out there. And based on my Instagram stalking, he appears to have met a girl who lived in, I think she's originally from somewhere up in the Northeast, but she also lived in Arizona. Libby. And Justin and Libby had a son, Bo. And Bo was born last year on Justin's birthday. So he and Bo share a birthday.
Those are the cutest names
ever.
And
Libby are engaged, and they're getting married in the off season. But anyway, so it was all the speculation before the season started as to whether or not sweet little Justin Steele from George County, Mississippi, was going to be able to really do it. And he has been an ace. He is in the running for the I just totally blanked on it. What is it? Cy Young?
Cy Young.
He's in the running for the Cy Young Award.
Wow.
Like, he is killing it.
Love it.
And he just had a big game last night. They've got a series right now with the Brewers, who are ahead of them in the Central Division. They're ahead by 4 games, and they had lost the first game to the Brewers, and Justin came out last night and pitched a 1-0 winning gem. So anyway, it's just really fun to what, and the fact that the commentators freaking love that he is from Lucedale, Mississippi. If they have said Lucedale one time on a broadcast this year, they have said it 57 times. There are shirts that have been made. In fact, I need to order one that reference Lucedale and the Cubs on this. I mean, it is a riot. Come on. But anyway, so that's your story. You can root for little Justin and hope he wins the Cy Young, and that the Cubs make it into a wild card spot into the playoffs.
I love that. Little Justin Steele. I love a small town boy. I think that a lot of the musicians we've talked about on here are small town Southern boys. I just love that.
Yep,
they're a good lot.
Yeah,
not the one that sings about being from a small town, but
he's not from a small town.
I watched him play baseball. He's not from a small town. Macon is not a small town.
It is not a small town.
Not a small town.
It's not.
Nope.
Do you know
But
he's opened up
actual
a
small
burger
town
joint?
Southern place I do like.
Oh yeah, we did. We talked about this burger joint he's opened.
Yeah. Are
I
you gonna
think it's
go?
actually open. Yeah. There's a great burger in between me and that place. So I'll stop at Shunt Deli and get a burger when
There
I
we
want a
go.
burger.
There we
I
go.
don't need his nasty burger.
No.
Gross.
Small town boy.
Whatever.
Small town my foot.
Right? Dansby's up to bat.
Like Casey,
Their
the
hair.
mighty Casey's up to bat.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's been slumping.
Look, it's because his hair's not big enough yet. He needs to grow it out a little bit more.
He did get it cut and it's
See?
grown out a little bit.
Samson.
Yeah. Cut off my hair, cut it off. Sorry.
Sing it, girl.
I have all these songs in my head.
I love it.
Okay, is it time for Katie's favorites this week?
It is. I have 4 this week I want to talk about. The first thing is something that Mandee, you alluded to earlier. It's a schedule. I love a schedule. I love my time to be regular. I miss things when I'm off a schedule because my brain does not work very well, just all willy-nilly out in the world.
Yeah.
I joke about it all the time. I do have a paper color-coded calendar. I just love it. I love that. And so I right now am loving my schedule. So for all of you that also love paper calendars, Day Designer is the one that has best aligned with my little it's for teachers, but it's not as teachery because it runs the school year. So it's more grad school. I'm a full grown adult kind of thing. I'm not dealing with children. So it doesn't look very juvenile, but they're beautiful calendars. The Day Designer, they're my favorite. It's my favorite.
Okay, good. As I told you, I am not that busy. So
oh, well. Even when I'm not, I still keep a paper color coded calendar. It has the birthdays on it and all the major sporting events, if nothing else.
Okay. Great.
So the second thing, and I mentioned this as well on here, I'm trying my best to be healthier. It's not about weight and size and whatever. It's just about being healthier. And one of the things that Mandee suggested, you always listen to Mandee, first of all, is the thing that I've learned the most in life. It's just whatever Mandee says to do, you do it.
I'm sorry, can we rewind that and let me clip
That's
it
recorded
so I can just
forever.
share that with everybody?
It's recorded forever, ma'am. So she said, we were talking about it off air, and she said, oh my gosh, you should try these frozen yogurt bars, and they're by Yasso, Yasso, Yasso or Yazzo, whatever. They're so good because one of the habits that I have, part of my schedule, my daily routine, from since childhood, is to have just a little bit of ice cream every night. When we spent the night with my grandparents, my granddaddy would go downstairs and put on a tray 4 little coffee mugs with just a little scoop of ice cream in it and let us eat it in bed with them. And we told bedtime stories and watched movies. And so I got in that habit of having just a little something sweet every night. Well, that adds up. And so these Yazzo frozen yogurt bars are so good. I've had the coffee that's delicious. The peanut butter chocolate crunch is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
There's a salted caramel that's divine. So it's just a better way to have that same little sweet tooth at the end of my day because I'm not getting rid of the sweet tooth.
Yeah. And I like it. Like I've tried like that. I think we talked about this too, like that Halo top.
Yeah.
Ice cream. Like I don't like the consistency of that.
Right. But this is Greek yogurt, but it's very not yogurt. It doesn't have that weird tooth feel afterward.
Yeah.
This is very ice cream-esque, and I'm here for. And the ones with the chocolate outside.
Yeah, the chocolate coating. Yeah, that
so
you don't feel like you're missing anything at all.
No. The other thing that I do a lot of, especially going back and forth to school, is listen to podcasts.
Preach.
Look, so this one is all for all the late and men too. It will make you angry. This is Serial, which was one of my gateway podcasts, and they haven't had a season in a while. But Serial has a series now. It's just 5 parts about the Yale fertility clinic. I don't know if you remember this in the news, but in the very first episode, all of this gets revealed. but one of the nurses was switching out fentanyl with saline because she was an addict. And it's about the court case and the results of that court case, and it's very
Yeah,
good.
I
I'm not
liked
going to
the
spoil
way.
anything, but it's
Yeah, I liked the
Yale.
way
Like,
it moved.
yeah, it's one of those where I talk back to my car as I was listening in the car. Like, this is Yale. Like, this is not some backwoods fertility clinic. This is Yale University. And you should know better. I said that 1,000 times back to the podcast. They should know better. So it's not a touchy-feely. It's not like my favorite smart list. It's none of that. It is very eye-opening and very informative and very scary. But I think it's a very good listen, and I think it's something we all need to hear.
I liked the way they structured it. Because
Yes.
sometimes they can drag
Yeah. No,
on
this is
and
only
on and
5.
on.
Yeah.
But this was, yeah, and it so the first episode sort of told the story,
Yeah.
and then the next ones were sort of all the fallout,
Yeah.
sort of how it happened,
Yeah.
and then the fallout.
Did you
But yeah,
guess
no, it
what was
was.
happening? I guessed what was happening pretty quick. I don't know if it's because I had maybe peripherally seen it on the news, but as soon as they said like the women were in pain, I was like, somebody's stealing their drugs. That's not real. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, I thought, well, that's because they're not really giving them fentanyl.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was really bad. So I highly
yeah,
recommend that. Um, I think it for every woman out there that goes to a doctor. It doesn't just have to be for fertility. You need to know and trust your own body, and know what and ask the right questions, and push, because we are
yeah.
not
Don't
heard.
be afraid. Don't be afraid to call them. I mean, they're human beings.
Yeah,
They put on their pants one leg at a time, just like we do.
absolutely.
And I think a lot of times it's hard for several reasons for women, because we're taught to be polite and not
Yes.
cause a stir. But
Yeah.
then also because sometimes we deify our medical
Yeah.
providers, and no,
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. And I have been blessed with it takes a village to raise a Katie, and that's doctors too. And, I've got a great group of people that help me keep my body healthy. But I could see where, people would not have that and not realize it. So I think it's just so important to listen to on many levels. And
Absolutely.
some of these women were doctors and nurses.
Right.
So, I mean, it can happen to anybody. So, anyway, I
Yeah.
just thought it was really good and really important, and I hope our listeners will go listen to that and learn from it. So the last thing, all right, Mandee, we are in a trust tree. We are not judgmental of each other and other
That's
women, right?
great.
Like, we are not.
Right.
I'm not perfect. I know it's hard to tell by this beautiful body that I have that I'm not perfect. But okay. So my whole life, my feet sweat, right? My feet sweat. And what that does is makes your shoes stink, whether your feet are clean when you put them in there
People
or not.
people can't see me nodding my head, but I'm nodding my head.
Look, it's just part of the cross I bear. I have beautiful long eyelashes, but I have sweaty feet. And so nothing has ever worked to get rid of that in my shoes. I've had to just toss shoes or whatever.
Mhm.
I have tried powders. I have tried little inserts that you buy, whatever. Revolutionary, life changing. The only thing that has ever worked that I have ever found is the cheapest solution: dryer sheets. Put a couple dryer
I
sheets
love
in
it.
your shoes. Done. Taken care of.
So do you just leave them in there all the time and pull them
Yeah.
out when you're going to wear the
Yeah.
shoes? Okay, great.
Simple,
Love it.
cheap, and it works. It's revolutionary. And
Y'all
my
should see
shoes
her
don't stink
face right
anymore.
now.
My hey dudes are good to go. You should put one over her hind parts. Maybe it'll help her gaseousness.
No,
My
I
hey
don't think
dudes are
so.
great. My tennis shoes that I work out in, fine.
Y'all should see Katie's face.
Like, where has this been all my life?
Her eyes are about to pop out of her head.
I just can't believe, like, I went my whole life and didn't know this. And it was so simple.
Oh, I'm really excited for you, Katie. I like too that on your notes that you said dryer sheets, not just for the dryer, because I immediately was thinking about their anti-static properties.
Look, I learned that in college.
Yeah.
And but nobody told me about the shoe thing.
Like there's some sort of cleaning something that you can use dryer sheets for, but I don't remember. Maybe something that's greasy or something. It helps with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go check your Go Clean Co.
Yeah.
Except apparently she's a Q'er. Do you know that?
No.
Go Clean Co. QAnon.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
All right.
Lord.
Well, listen.
So there we go.
I'm glad that you are on your schedule with your calendar, eating your yogurt bars, listen to your podcast with your non-stinky shoes. I feel like this is just a win.
I know, right?
Win all the way around.
It's been a winning week.
Listen. Love it.
So next week for the podcast, we have talked about doing one about hurricanes.
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous because we're not done with hurricane season.
Well, I think hurricane preparedness is a big part of that. Like all my friends today have
I don't want to be conjuring one up. I don't want to be conjuring one up.
They're coming, honey. Whether you like it or not, they're coming.
I'm looking at the Gulf. Stop it.
I know. So we can wait until after if you want to, but
no, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, I want your tips and tricks on what to keep in your pantry. I can guess.
Okay. Listen, I've lived here 10 years and I have only had to evacuate once.
Yeah.
And that was for Michael. And Michael hit, like the effects from Michael started about 20 miles from here. And I don't think we even lost power.
That's great.
I mean, but I feel like I'm just biding my time.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I used to work at the Lizard car insurance, and that's a big deal. Hurricanes are a big deal. Well, apparently they aren't anymore since I left, but whatever. They've got it easy now. But my life used to revolve around hurricane season. My work life, there was no work-life balance, so my life. So it was some fun times though, let me tell you. So we'll see if maybe we'll have a little hurricane advice for people.
As long as we bless it before and after.
Oh, well, now I can do that.
We're not conjuring them.
No, I can do that now. I'll sprinkle some holy water on it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I have have some anointing oil.
Okay, love it.
All right.
All right. Well, have a great week.
I will enjoy the first week, the first full weekend of college football and fall baseball and all the things.
Listen, the Braves are playing the Dodgers this weekend. It's a big series, y'all. The Cubs are playing the Brewers right now. Then the Braves are playing the Dodgers. It is high, what's the word? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I mean?
I'll have to turn that game on.
High stakes baseball.
High stakes, baby. High stakes.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a great week and we'll see you back next week. And hey, Brooke, we love you.